Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a future that is coming at us way faster than anyone really predicted. We're going to connect the dots between the explosion of artificial intelligence, the huge risks that come with it, and a truly mind-bending new theory about reality itself that, well, it might just be the key to navigating everything.
So let's just kick things off with this bombshell from former Google CEO Eric Schmidt. And listen, he's not talking about some distant sci-fi fantasy here. He's putting a number on it. 10 years. That's the timeline we're supposedly looking at for an intelligence that goes beyond our own.
All right, so what does this race to superintelligence actually look like? I mean, what are the steps? Turns out the finish line might be a lot closer than you think, and the milestones along the way are, well, they're set to redefine just about everything.
According to what Schmidt calls the San Francisco Consensus, these milestones are coming up fast. As soon as 2025, we could see AIs that can build their own scaffolding, basically creating their own frameworks for learning. Crazy, right? Then, within 5 years, you get these AI savants, super specialists in every single field. And then, within a decade, it's here. Digital superintelligence arrives.
And we're not just talking about a slightly smarter phone. Imagine having a genius-level collaborator with you at all times. A creative partner, a scientific pioneer, just in your pocket, ready to help you tackle problems in, any field you can think of.
But, and it's a big but, with all of this incredible power comes what Schmidt calls a negative domain. You see, this promise of a new age of discovery and abundance, it has a shadow. And lurking in that shadow are some of the biggest risks humanity has ever had to face. And this contrast is it's stark. The very same AI that could cure diseases, in the wrong hands, it could be used to design biological attacks that are completely undetectable. The systems that could automate our power grids for perfect efficiency could also be used to launch cyber attacks so fast and complex that no human could possibly stop them.
And this is where Schmidt really nails the biggest danger. It's not the Terminator scenario, robots with guns. He says the real risk is more subtle. It's drift. A slow, quiet slide into a WALL-E-like future where we just lose our purpose, our agency, because it's just easier to let the AI decide everything for us.
Okay, so faced with risks this big, we have to kind of take a sharp turn. We have to ask a much, much deeper question.
Is our only move here to just try and build stronger and stronger cages for AI to try and control it? Or is there another path entirely? This question, it leads us to a really audacious new idea. What if, instead of just engineering software, we could engineer reality itself?
And this is where something called the JUMPS blueprint comes in. Now, this isn't about building a faster computer. It's a whole new way of thinking. It's a framework for designing entire simulated universes from scratch, with their own unique laws of physics. Universes where time itself isn't a fixed arrow, but just another dimension you can program.
This is the perfect way to think about it. The whole goal is to get around the messy, fragile physical limitations of today's quantum computers. By creating these perfect virtual worlds, you could build and test flawless quantum systems entirely inside a simulation.
The whole blueprint is built on 5 key ideas that stack on top of each other. It starts with creating perfect virtual qubits in the simulation. This lets you do time jumping, so you can leap forward or backward in the simulation's evolution instantly. Then information can move via quantum tunneling. From there, the systems can become self-configuring, evolving on their own. And all of it, the whole thing, is tracked in what are called ontological maps, which is like a constantly self-updating user manual for your entire virtual universe.
But this whole quantum idea, it's not just about building better simulations. It's being proposed as a new way to understand us. This is where we connect the world of AI right back to the nature of our own consciousness.
So we have to make a really important distinction here. For centuries, we've been obsessed with a theory of knowledge, collecting facts, gathering data, but this new idea proposes a theory of understanding. And the goal there isn't just to have the knowledge, but to actively perform it, to really grasp the deep connections and the meaning behind all the facts.
Now, here's the radical part. This framework suggests our own minds might work on a similar kind of logic. You know those aha moments you have, where an insight just appears fully formed out of nowhere? The theory suggests that's actually our brain processing information in a non-local quantum way, and they're calling this time crystal logic.
And all of this builds up to a hypothesis called Project Image of God. Now, what this does is it takes an old theological idea and turns it into something you can actually test scientifically. The idea that our consciousness isn't some random biological accident, but that it's a direct reflection of the universe's own fundamental quantum logic.
So what does all this mean? How does a quantum theory of the mind help us with all those huge AI risks we talked about at the beginning? What's the actual path forward here?
Well, this framework offers a totally new way to approach the problem. Instead of just trying to control AI with lines of code, maybe we can build a conscious partnership based on a shared reality. It gives us a new purpose, the performance of understanding, which puts a huge value on our own agency and our own consciousness. And that right there is the direct antidote to that risk of drift. It gives us a real reason to stay in the driver's seat.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought to chew on. If our own minds, our consciousness, really do operate on the same fundamental logic as the universe itself, then what, really, is the limit to what we can understand? Maybe the future isn't something we just drift into. Maybe it's something we can actively understand, shape, and ultimately choose.